On today's episode, we explore the inspiring journey of Louise Misako. From architecture to pageantry, Louise has embraced transformation, overcoming childhood bullying to advocate for sustainability and empowerment. Join us as she shares her story of resilience, authenticity, and the power of community in shaping a personal brand rooted in diversity and inclusion. Well, thank you for coming on Do Her Thing podcast. So for those who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself as who you are now.
Thank you so much, Richelle, for having me. I'm really glad we connected and that you invited me. It means a lot. I'm really touched.
I think people need to hear your story.
Okay. I'm an architect based here in Montreal, but I like to call myself an Archi Chic because I have all that chic side from my French background, I would say. And I'm passionate about fashion. And I like to apply what I'm doing as an architect. You know, I transform, I don't demolish. And I apply also that into my passion for fashion. You might questioning why I'm wearing a sash today. It's because I just competed in Miss Eco Canada pageant, where I placed first runner-up. And it's a pageant that focuses a lot on sustainability and women empowerment. So with what I just said about like my advocacy or my values as an architect or Archi Chic, I really felt I was aligned with that particular pageant, and that's how I won the title of first runner-up.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So how did you go into beauty pageant? Because, you know, my background in design, I naturally wouldn't have got into becoming a beauty queen. So how did you do that switch from like architecture into becoming into pageantry?
It was a lifelong dream since I was a child. I grew up in France, so I remember me watching Miss France, and I was so amazed by how powerful, they were so beautiful, so bold. They used to do really good speeches. So that was kind of my dream, to be myself on that stage too when I will be an adult. But unfortunately in France, there are really like restricted rules regarding the height and the age. So that's why when I moved to Canada, I discovered that pageantry here is more inclusive as the country. No more age requirement, and the age following the years have been released. For example, in pageants like Miss Universe, there is no age restriction anymore.
Really?
But now in a lot of pageants, you can compete until 35, you know, and I'm 33. So that's how I entered. Like when I became a permanent resident, that was also the requirement to be at least permanent resident or Canadian citizen. I applied into my first pageant 4 years ago. It was Miss Face of Humanity. So I represented Canada, and I placed top 15 in Toronto.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that. So who were you before like all of this happened?
I was a day-to-day architect, like without really knowing where I belonged or who I was, because as I mentioned, I like to call myself an Archi Chic, you know, because I have that really chic, classy style. But you worked in an architectural company, and you can see that not a lot of people are really like eccentric in their style, you know. And it's also like a male-dominated industry. A lot of women in the new generation, like us, are coming, like, and are maybe even more in terms of numbers. But the previous generation, it's really a male-dominated industry in construction, real estate, etc. So I always have that feeling that, do I really belong there? I love architecture, I love design, but it's like I can't really connect with people here. And it was really like after the pageant, I learned how to speak first, because in architecture you don't learn how to speak.
You're right, it's true. You learn how to design.
Yeah, you don't learn communication. I have learned how to like present myself on stage, how to manage my communication, my social media, how to network, all those skills that when the pageant was over, I was like, okay, what do I do with all that new knowledge? Yes. You know, my day-to-day as an architect, it's like not enough, the fire. And really, like soon after the end of the pageant, I had that talk with my previous boss and said to her, okay, I don't want to just be an architect or like sitting back at the end of the train. I want to be in front of the train.
I love that.
I want that experience that I just had to mean something in my life.
Yes.
And she told me, you know what? I know that network about like gathering a lot of women from real estate. You're going to come with me.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like I saw the light. For the first time in my life, I saw similar women with similar style as I have. I met women like me in the same age, but also I could project myself in some VPs, CEOs, entrepreneurs. And I was like, okay, so there is a place where I belong.
Love that.
And they really liked all my new skills, like social media, for example, speaking skills. I was able to like host conferences, or when we are organizing some events, I am doing like the social media things, etc. So it was really a space and a safe space where I could grow,
Yes.
And so 4 years later, like for this particular pageant, now being part of that network has connected me, of course, with other networks like Bâtiment Durable Québec, for example, and really like it shaped my particular brand, what's my message? It's diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability. And so that's why I promised myself, if you come back to pageantry again, be 100% you.
Love that. Yes.
Because 4 years ago, I was representing the immigrants because I suffered from my immigration process, etc. It was really long. So I represented the immigrant, but on my day-to-day, I was an architect.
Right.
So no really connection. I had that kind of Hannah Montana syndrome. During the pageant, there were a lot of Americans, and when I said that, they really connected.
Oh, yes. I love that.
And so I presented really myself as an Archi Chic, someone who really involved in her industry, most polluting industry, since male-dominated. So I really, as I mentioned before, I really felt connected and aligned with that brand of Miss Eco International.
So what part of your identity did you lose that you realized you weren't attached to? Like, for example, the people that you were meeting at your pageants, right? Like, how had they affected your story and your identity and becoming who you are?
The fact that what I really liked about pageants is that you are surrounded by so many women different. And so you really explore and diverse your surroundings, if it makes sense.
Yeah, new experiences.
Yes, new experiences. It put me out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
And I meet people and listen their stories, and it kind of reflects about who you are and when you hear what they say. All of that to say, in my second pageant, so 3 years ago, I met that girl. She was raped when she was a teenager. And she told me she was now like a speaker. She was traveling all across Canada to speak about sexual violences, etc. And I was like, oh my God, how could you such a young age? She was 21 years old.
So young.
Yeah, speaking about a topic that maybe women twice or thrice her age couldn't speak about,
Yes.
and so I asked her, how can you manage doing that? And she told me, it's simple, Louise. The more I talk, the more I heal. Oh, wow. And I believe you're doing your podcast too, because
same thing.
you have a story and it kind of helping you, right?
Yeah, it's I always say it's part of my healing journey, because when I was going through it, even though I physically looked okay, mentally and internally, I knew stuff was wrong. So I was reaching out to athletes who had spinal cord injuries, and that led me to be okay, so they had this really bad accident like I did, worse than I had, but they were able to overcome it and excel, be world champions, Paralympians, they're medaling at the Paralympics, and I'm thinking, okay, there is another side to it, but you have to, like you said, you have to talk about it. You have to meet other people who have experienced it and know that you're not alone in it, right? Like there is a community out there that can support you to get you through everything.
Really, like you're not alone. And before that, before like going to pageantry or like before meeting all those women, by just being an architect, I thought that I was alone, you know.
Yeah, you do, right? Especially when you're in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah, and as an immigrant, as a young woman in your industry, it's like a perfect cocktail to never be taken seriously. Yes. But to answer your question, by hearing those few words, I was 30, I was like, okay, I believe that I have something in me also that it's still inside and didn't came out.
Right.
And meeting her really helped me to just put a finger on it. I'm a survivor from school bullying. Mm-hmm. So I was bullied like from my 11 to my 16 years old.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, a really long time. So I was kind of, alone all those years without a space to speak. Mm-hmm. So it's still difficult for me to talk about that, but now I'm taking what she gave me, and the more I say I survived from that experience, the more I heal, and also it kind of give a sense to everything I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. Now, just speaking to you, connecting with you, the other guests, doing those events, coming to pageantry, meeting all those amazing women, I'm just like connecting with people. You know, I'm just healing. I'm not alone on my own anymore, you know.
Yes, that's it.
When I go on stage and just speaking about topics, connecting with the subject, it's like, okay, now people are listening to me, listening to my expertise. I can really have a value. Mm-hmm. Because when I was a teenager, I thought that I didn't have any value.
Yes. So then tell us about then coming to Canada as an immigrant, because, okay, I always joke because I did live in Italy for 2 years and the Italians were like, why are you here? Like, you have a better life in Canada. So I always think the same thing when I hear, you know, you're from France, Europeans, like, why are you coming here?
As I mentioned, it's really an inclusive country. Mm-hmm. For diversity, for women also. I believe that in France, unfortunately, we still have work to do.
Okay.
Of course, Me Too happened. So a lot of things have changed since I left, to be honest. And it's good, it's for the positive. But when I was studying architecture, there was maybe about 10 teachers, 1 woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Really old men, you know, misogynia.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Yes. I don't want to put into detail, but it was not a good time to study architecture there.
Okay.
And also, we didn't sleep a lot. I remember, like, not sleeping for, like, 5 days.
Just pulling all-nighters?
Yes, before a submission, like a presentation of my my final work, my final workshop. I remember, like, I didn't sleep for 5 days. Just to be able to do what my teacher told me to change, like, last minute. And I had to do it because he has the power to, like, lower my score because I didn't listen to him, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah, that was kind of the atmosphere I tried to, you know, push away. And also when I started working as an intern, because during our studies in France, we have to do internships.
Okay.
So I did internships in France, 3 internships. And the similar atmospheres, you know, like you don't count your hours. As a woman, you're not treated well. Mm-hmm. Old men. So I was like, okay, I want to be an architect. Yes, I like that, but I don't want to work in that atmosphere where I am never respected, you know. Mm-hmm. So it was a kind of survive move to come to Canada and try a new thing.
Okay.
Because I believe that but after coming here, I wouldn't have liked the studies. Maybe I would have changed, you know,
right,
changed direction, etc. But I really liked. I met really good teachers, And also, I really loved the subjects, of our workshop.
Okay.
There was a workshop about sustainability, the atmospheres in the building related to climate and climate change also. So it really caught my attention. And then my teacher offered me, when I finished my first master, to do another master with them, a research, like a small PhD, I would say. So I have 2 masters, and I wrote a research paper about like how you can design a building in the cold climate of Canada.
Right. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I realized also that I didn't like research because you're on your own all the time. And so I don't like being alone. Like, it's really like I like to have done this experience, but because it has taught me that I'm a people person. I like to work with teams. I don't like doing things on my own.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's true that people forget, like, when you're an architect, they think it's the sole person, but no. You have a team of people that you have to work with and coordinate with to build a building. Like, one person doesn't do that on their own.
Yeah, you're like a chief of orchestra.
Yes.
So that's what I like about our job. And in pageantry, I'm like the architect of my own journey. I'm coordinating with the designer, with the photographer, with all my partners, etc. Like, for example, in that journey, I organized
talk to me about you as a teacher and mentor, because I know that even though you're an architect, you did go back into teaching.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, because I'm an architect, yes, but when I used to work in my previous job, I did a lot of interior design too. And I think it connects more with my chic style.
Yes. Interior design is always the chic part of design.
So I got that opportunity last year to teach at University of Montreal. And our studio was ecological housing subject.
Okay.
So really focused on sustainability again. And I was surprised because around my 9 students, I believe like 6 of them were immigrants and 8 of them were women. I only got 1 male student.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of there. They could project in me or in my journey, as an immigrant, next gen, woman, etc. In this complicated and competitive industry. So I tried to go even more far than what was expected from me as a teacher.
Right.
I tried to invite a lot of people from my network with like different direction. Yes, they got the interior design diploma or architect diploma, but they were not necessarily like working as a project manager in interior design or architecture or VP or partners in their company. For example, I invited someone who now is a sustainable consultant, someone who is now a manufacturing representative. Yeah. So all those different backgrounds, just to let the student know that there is not just one way. There are multiple ways in the industry for us. I tried really to give them what I didn't have, because when I told you about my years as a student, I felt that I didn't really belong there. I had nobody to project myself in. Like, okay, someone like me is now an architect or an interior designer. So I really wanted them to understand more the industry and being like the bridge between like the academic field and the industry.
The practical.
Yeah, it kind of moved them, I received a lot of anxiety, to be honest. So because it's your first time as a teacher and you're like, okay, is it me? But I'm resilient. I believe that it's my best quality. I'm visionary too. I believe it's good when you are planning project to be visionary.
Yeah, I agree. That's when you go into architecture, right?
So because I was sure about, because it came from my own journey, and now I'm succeeding, but because I have discovered things later in my life. So because I was really sure, I've been through all of that. And also I remember that my teachers, because I did a second master, really pushes me to present my research into some awards and research articles.
Yes,
Like
journals.
Journals, yes. So I kind of did the same with them.
Oh, good.
And I was really close with Interior Designers of Canada because I've been a jury member last year with them. I believe that they are really interesting about sustainability.
Yes.
It's not well spread outside of Quebec, I would say. Mm-hmm. People are like beginning to do sustainable design, etc. But our workshop was about that. So I really pushed my student to apply into that specific student award. Mm-hmm. And can you guess how many of them won?
Did you sweep the awards? Did you get them all?
Like 4 of my students won an award.
Goes to show.
Yeah.
All you.
It's not me. I just point the right direction, but it's all my students' work, you know, mm-hmm. like they work so hard. And I'm really grateful that they put their trust in me. But I really pushed them because I said it's going to be in your curriculum vitae. Yes. Then mm-hmm. if you win, you're going to be like on the top of, for every company you yes. will apply, it will be yours all your life, you know. So a lot of them at the beginning, as I mentioned, they were like, oh no, additional work, we don't have time, etc. But at the end, after they won, some of them told me, thank you for putting ourselves out of our comfort zone. It's the best pay I ever received.
I knew the way MTG works.
Yeah, after going through all of that, it was the best pay I could ever ask for.
That's what they say with teaching. It's like it's realizing that moment when what you've envisioned for your students comes to life, but they also see it too. You're like, thank goodness it was worth the effort, right? Because they realize that what I saw in you actually is what, you know, everyone else sees, and being awarded that way. Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Okay. So was there something within the system around you that didn't change? So like what was around your industry that kept breaking that you wish would change?
What I wish I would change? I'm an architect of change. So everything, no. You know, I'm not building or changing against something. I'm building or changing with, you know. So every people I meet in the industry, I'm like, okay, we are going to be partners now.
Yes.
Like, how can we improve? How can we do better? I believe that an architect is someone who transforms challenges into opportunity. So that's how I see my mission as an architect of change.
Right.
Say. So we still have a lot of things to build and to change and improve. Also, if I link to the actual challenges that we have in Quebec and Canada, of course, right now, is we need to stop like building new buildings. I believe that now we need to like compose with the existing. My current job is to plan for Eastern Canada the government buildings, because for the federal. So it's all existing buildings. So really, like when I receive the project or a need from someone, I'm like, okay, how can I take that challenge and transform into an opportunity that the building and the customer experience inside, which is like federal employee, can be better.
Talk about how you are actually helping other women, right? With the construction events and that whole that part of your industry, because you saw a need, right? Like we all know what's happening in our industry, but you're tapping into other organizations that are helping to raise women.
It all started with Crew M, so Commercial Real Estate Women 4 years ago. But then I expanded my network and I connected with Dress for Success Montreal. So I really believe that particular organization's mission really connected with who I am as a person. Like I told you that my brand or nickname is Archi Chic, and I really believe it connects it so much with Dress for Success Montreal. It's an organization that gives women clothes second-hand clothes for their interviews at their job to go back to the workforce, if that makes sense. So volunteers like me go there, and for 1 hour we go into the showrooms, and I'm kind of their stylist for 1 hour.
Oh, I love that.
And by being a volunteer there, I just understood that how giving a material and a woman a second life is powerful, because when they see that themselves at the end of the session in the mirror, sometimes they let all things go, you know.
Right.
But I know them since just 1 hour, you know.
Yeah.
and they say one time, a woman told me, like, you know what, I lost my child. My husband quit me. It took me 10 years to rebuild myself. But by coming here, seeing me with that beautiful jacket and suit, I believe that I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. And I was like, oh my God.
I know. And 1 hour of
She's sharing all of that to me, and I met so many women, like, really resilient. Like, I don't believe that, okay, I survived from things, but when you meet other people, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, it kind of reflects on who you are in your own journey.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I'm still lucky, you know, because I've met so many women that they healed from, like, cancer, or you don't want to go through that. And I was like, how did they survive from that?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So because you're an Archi Chic, you talked about your dresses that you design or repurpose for your pageant. So talk to me about that.
During my first pageant, I bought some dresses, yes, but it was expensive.
Right. I can imagine.
Yeah. And so when I did my second pageant, everyone said, okay, I have a new dress, I bought this dress, etc. I'm like, okay, I had all those dresses from last year. I won't buy new dresses.
Exactly.
I want to rewear what I have. But, oh no, coaches says, you won't create a momentum.
You're like,
People really have already seen that. And I was like, okay, but I'm going to transform.
yes.
So that's how I met wonderful designers. I brought my, let's say, old dresses or previous dresses. And I had so much ideas, because now when you have, for example, a really like siren shape,
Yes.
you can add things on the arm, you know, and to play around on stage is really beautiful. So I asked my designers like to create pieces, and now I have built a really huge wardrobe, so I can even exchange, you know,
That's so smart.
the overskirt from that dress can go with that dress.
What was it called? A capsule pageantry
Yeah.
closet.
It kind of begin too little for all my stuff. I just got a meeting with one of the designers I'm working with last year, just before the pageant, and I told her, like, okay, if I win and I go into international, we're going to be ready, a zero carbon wardrobe together.
Ooh.
Like I did that during the national, but I believe I composed 10 looks, all zero carbon.
Really?
Yeah. So it was all from second-hand clothes, from Dress for Success, for example. Or they were in my closet since a couple of years, and I just like changed pieces, etc. Like this dress, I have it since 4 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. Never would have thought.
Yeah, it's just like rewearing and you know, adding pieces, etc. And the last dresses that I wore were like pageant dresses, transformed, upcycled. We like the word upcycling.
Yes. Oh, so for you, what does healing look like? Because it's not like what everyone says, right? It's not like in the movies.
No. By healing, I'm still healing, you know. I survived from school bullying, so a lot of years when you are like shut down, you're devalued, let's say. People are telling you also that you're not beautiful. That was the thing that I heard the most.
Really?
But what I didn't tell you about is that I was born in Japan. and that my parents, they choose me the name beautiful in Japanese. It's Misako. And they choose that not because they wanted me to be beautiful, but when they arrived, they were both French, and they knew anybody. And there was that woman that was in the neighborhood and kind of welcomed them, and she took care of my mom because she didn't know even how to speak Japanese, you know. And that woman spoke a little bit of English, so they could like communicate, etc. So when I was born, like 2 or 3 months after they arrived, to say thank you, they gave me her name. Oh. So she was Misako Fukuzumi. I don't know if one day she will listen to it, but like Misako, she's still alive, and we connect a lot through Facebook and Messenger. So yeah. It's I'm really emotional when I think of those years. So I'm really like grateful and honored, like wear her name,
yes,
let's say. But it has been a really heavy name, because when I was a teenager, so people were telling me the contrary of what I was supposed to be. So it's complicated to build yourself, and I use the word build because you are building yourself all your life, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's complicated to build yourself when people are telling you the contrary on what you're supposed to be. And that's why today in my social media primarily, but also in my pageant identity, I'm Louise Misako, because I really want that name to like be repeated again. You know, it's a way I don't let anyone now defining my value.
Yes, but it's funny because, you know, you were given this name, beautiful, and then you were bullied and told you were not beautiful, and now you're Miss Eco Canada, like a beauty queen, right? So that journey for you must have been like such a journey.
During this pageant, I met the winner from Teen USA.
Okay.
And we connected around like a road trip for 20 minutes just to go from the hotel to the new stage. And I told her about like my journey in pageantry, etc. And when I congratulate her on Instagram later, like 2 or 3 days after, she told me, I will remember all my life what you say to me and how pageantry did not define you as a person. You didn't let pageantry define you. And she told me, thank you for being a role model to women my age, because she was 17.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Like, we only spoke for 20 minutes.
Yes.
I made that such a difference.
Yeah, like, and she was so smart at 17. I don't remember I was like that. I was recovering or starting a new life with some friends around me, you know, because I was bullied the year after. Mm-hmm. So I was, I was not at her stage of like confidence and beauty. So
that must be something that you're always aware of, right? As like an ambassador and wearing the sash and wearing the crown, that, you know, everyone who you speak to, it's an opportunity to talk about like your advocacy, but also talk about your journey, and also allow them to know like it's going to be okay. Like what you're doing is like you're going to make it through, right?
Yeah. You're kind of an inspirational role model. I don't have I have the pretension to be like a role model or an ambassador, etc. I'm just trying to be the best version of myself.
Okay.
And if it kind of inspire other women, other people, like this young lady, that's a good thing, you know.
That's the bonus.
Yeah,
right?
that's the bonus. But it's my own journey. I have goals that I want to achieve, you know. If I don't develop myself, I'm kind of, you know. Yeah. It's like, as I mentioned, I'm visionary. I want to build, etc. So I believe it's in me. You know, it's my mission to be the architect of change.
Yes.
So if I can give back to people, like, you know, when I meet with people and connect, and that they gave me the attention that I didn't have when I was young, I'm just giving back. You know.
Mm-hmm. So who or what actually helped you the most in your journey?
I believe it's my old boss, really. Like, I don't believe that people know that when they're doing something for someone, like just opening a little door, like it can really like open to light and a really long corridor. So I don't believe she knew how it would have changed my life, So I'm like forever grateful. Like every time I have the opportunity to thank her, I thank her. So Audrey, mon petit, si tu me regardes, je te remercie encore.
How did she help you?
But she's still like a mentor.
Still?
We are still connected. We had that talk not so long after my first pageant when I told her, like, I don't want to sit at the back of the train anymore. I want to be on top of the train. I want to conduct. Even if I make mistakes in the future, like I want to be part of what you do,
Yes.
Back at this time, I wanted to be a partner in the company. Finally, it was not for me, but everything that she opened for me really like helped me to become the woman I am today.
Yeah.
That network in real estate that conducted me with other networks, Dress for Success Montreal, to be a volunteer there. It was really my advocacy, Dress for Success Montreal, during the Miss Eco pageant. So everything happens for a reason.
I agree. It always does. You don't know it when you're in it, but eventually it leads you down the road where you want to go, or where you know your heart and your vision is going. You just have to go through the journey and let it happen, right? Like don't force it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what still feels fragile for you? Is there anything?
Yeah, everything. Okay, I will just say that every day is a new opportunity to overcome your imposter syndrome. It's my first time in a podcast like this, so I'm just trying to turn the challenge into an opportunity to try new things, to connect more with you, because I love you as a person. Like when we met, we had all those connections of like architecture, design, marketing communication in the other side. So we were like, oh, we have to do something together. Yeah, cheers to that wonderful beginning of collaboration.
And it all happened at an event, everyone. Like, you never know who you're going to meet at an event. We were introduced to each other naturally, and then we were reintroduced to each other again, I think, right?
Yeah, by Taj Gill.
Yeah, goes to show, right? Like attraction. Or
attraction, the stars align.
So then, if this season isn't about winning, even though you're winning things, what do you think it's about?
It's about self-growth, and that every day is an opportunity as a woman, as an immigrant, as a next-gen leader in my industry, to overcome my imposter syndrome, I would say. Yeah.
So who are you becoming that your old self could not even imagine?
Oh my God. Winning a pageant, for example. Like, I came first runner-up, but just standing like
amongst
like top two,
Yes.
leaving the top two. Oh my God, it was such a beautiful moment, because also like the woman who won for Canada, Olivia Lou, she's in Toronto. Hi, if she listens to that podcast. We know each other since 4 years now. So after I did Miss Face of Humanity, I was a judge into a virtual pageant where she was competing, and I believe she finished like second runner-up. So she really caught my attention. I was like, oh, wow, she's really beautiful. So we connected through social media, and then I saw her journey. Like she won Miss Canada United World. She's been Miss Cosmo World Jamaica, I believe. Like I saw all her journey. And one day I came to Toronto and say, hey, why don't we meet for coffee? Right. So we met and we connect, and I didn't know that we had 9 years apart, like age different. Yeah, like when people see ourselves, we could be the same age.
True.
We had so many gaps, but I really connected with her, and I was really happy that we could make that meeting, let's say. And 1 year later, we finished top 2 in Miss Eco Canada pageant. And that's what I told her when we were top 2. And I was like, oh my God, we've made 4th in Toronto last year. And she was like,
Oh my God, that must be such a moment to be with almost like a friend going through the industry, and all of a sudden, like, you guys are standing at the stage, the top together.
Yeah,
right?
and so that's why when they call her as the winner, like, I smiled and I was happy and I hugged her because I knew her and I knew that she deserved that,
Yes.
you know? So, yeah, it was not me, but everything is not about me, you know?
Yes.
Like, sometimes you have to just admit that someone else is more deserving than you do. And it's okay because I have that sash too.
Yes.
I'm really honored to be her runner-up. And I'm going to still continue serving, advocating for sustainability and women empowerment. So
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. So then, so if no one praised you on this next chapter, would you still choose it?
Yeah, because I'm doing what I like, you know, and I believe that success in life is doing what you like. Finally doing what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do some hot takes. One word that describes the version of you before everything changed.
Afraid, scared.
Yeah?
I was scary all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I have an anecdote, fun fact to share that I just remembered like yesterday or two days ago. When I arrived in Canada and I searched about pageantry, I remember I wanted to compete in Miss World Canada.
Wow.
So I reached out and asked. So they told me, you have first to do a virtual interview, and then if you fit, we're going to send you all the information to become a national delegate.
Okay.
And I remember I was so afraid to speak in English to a stranger that
yes.
I booked the interview, but I never came. Like, I did a no-show. Yeah, I was too afraid. So just for me today to be able to do that podcast,
yes.
like in English, not my native language,
Yes.
and to be able to work in English also and to speak and be not afraid, it's really a personal victory.
Mm-hmm. No, it's so true. Okay, so then, is there a part of your old identity you secretly miss?
No. I'm 100% aligned with who I am now.
Okay. Fake it till you make it, yes or no? Yeah.
I would say yeah.
Grieving is overrated. Agree or disagree?
That's still a thing that I need to work on, you know.
Ah, okay.
I don't cry a lot
Yeah.
because I believe it's from my education, you know. I was raised to be really strong and
Yes.
etc. So yeah, I like when I see people crying and I'm always there, you know. I really uplift people. It's the way I uplift too. But when it's me, I don't like to show my emotion. Like, it's something that I'm still building, you know, because I was not raised to show them.
Yes, I know that feeling. The hardest part of change is admitting you're not in control.
Yes, but I became an architect of change, you know, to keep the control. No.
I don't want to architect everything.
Yeah. No, but it's true. I believe, like, when I connect with someone, etc., I'm always like envision what we could build together, you know. So, yeah.
Is discipline more important than inspiration?
Oh wow. I don't know. I'm balancing both, you know.
Yeah.
It's challenging to balance both.
It is.
I can be really disciplined when I'm passionate, so creative.
That's it.
But when I don't like what I'm doing, I'm not disciplined at all.
That's totally it. Do you think failure builds character or it breaks you?
Oh no, it builds character. Like, as I mentioned, I turn challenges, so failure is part of some challenges I can face into an opportunity. Maybe, but I believe that there is a new era of entrepreneurs now, and those people are really like saying, okay, it's good to do pauses or breaks, because, you know, if you have a journey from Montreal to Quebec, you still need to do a break.
Yes.
And to recharge or put some gas into your car, you know.
So true.
So you still have to pause before continuing your journey.
Yeah.
And I believe that a lot of new entrepreneurs and professionals now understand that better than the previous generation.
I agree. I definitely agree. Does reinvention require risk?
Oh, of course.
Can you reinvent yourself without completely letting go of your old self?
No, I believe that your old self is part of the journey. So if you try to hide, you're not 100% you, and people will always feel that something is missing. And that's how I felt during my first pageant, you know. I was not 100% me because, like, for example, I didn't spoke about overcoming school bullying and that it connected me with being an advocate for immigrant or diversity. Like, for now, I'm really talking about diversity because it englobes everyone, you know, that felt excluded. And because I know what it feels to be excluded, now I'm working for diversity and inclusion. Also as an architect in the space we design and the society we want Canada to be.
Yeah, love that.